It's 8:52 here in New York. I'm Bryant Gumbel. We understand that...
For those on my channel who know me from my 9/11 videos, you may or may not recognize this man, Bryant Gumbel. The newscaster for CBS as the attacks occurred has had a long and prolific career outside of that, co-hosting Today on NBC for several years, The Early Show for a few years after that, and later gaining his own program on HBO, Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel. Yet during his time at CBS, he would be the subject of a controversial incident that, despite receiving a lot of backlash, vanished just as quickly as it occurred. On June 29, 2000, at about 7:10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Gumbel was reporting on the then recent decision by the Supreme Court to allow Boy Scouts of America, now just called Scouting America, to discriminate against openly gay scout leaders. One group in favor of this decision was the Family Research Council, an evangelical lobbying organization known for its extreme stances against stem cell research, abortion, LGBTQ rights, and in particular, media values. Members had appeared on the show in the days prior to discuss the same topic, but today the FRC would be represented by its Director of Cultural Affairs, Robert Knight. During the interview, Knight makes several outlandish claims and pointed comments, arguing homosexuality itself was responsible for taking years off one's life, and extending his position to not just leaders, but any scout in general. It was apparent to those watching the broadcast that Gumbel didn't buy into what this guy was saying at all, and the interview ended after only a couple minutes. They then transitioned to the weather report, with Mark McEwen making a joke about his predictions for the show Survivor. The camera cut back to Bryant, presumably to capture his reaction to the joke, but instead, for a brief second, it captured him getting up from his chair, smiling, and saying an inaudible sentence. The audio cuts out 2 words into what he's saying, yet you can still supposedly make it out from his lip movements. What a fucking idiot. Just to be clear, he's still talking about Robert Knight, not Mark McEwen. The incident sparked outrage by those who saw it, especially the FRC themselves, who took out ads in major newspapers calling for Gumbel's firing. Knight continuously brings up the incident in his journalistic writings as an example of liberal bias in the news, even more than a decade afterwards. And Fox News' Hannity and Combs even did a segment about the broadcast on the evening of July 10th, in which they slow down and zoom in on the clip in an effort to read his lips better. You might notice I keep saying, by those that watched it. That's because the Family Media Council themselves transcribed the whole interview and uploaded it as an editorial to their Media Research Center website, even linking to a clip of the F-bomb itself. Unfortunately, due to the limitations of video streaming and playback at the time, this clip was uploaded as a real audio metafile. These files work merely as hyperlinks to where the actual video file is stored, and even though clicking on the download images works, the link it gives you, presumably from FRC's own servers, is unsurprisingly dead. The only time that Gumbel himself has ever acknowledged the incident is in a 2007 episode of Live with Regis and Kelly that he guest hosted, an episode that is also lost media and that I can't find any clips of. As far as I've been able to gather, there are absolutely no surviving clips of the broadcast, either before or after the interview, and the only images of the incident that remain are the aforementioned screenshots from the MRC website, both the CBS original and the Fox News segment.
It's 7:38. We're going to come back in just a moment. There's more ahead, right after this. Lawyers for the Boy Scouts of America today will go before the Supreme Court to argue the group's right to exclude homosexuals. The case stems from a New Jersey troop that kicked out a gay scout leader named James Dale after his sexual orientation became public.